Dear President of ANACOM, João Cadete Matos, Dear President of Sines Municipality, Nuno Mascarenhas, distinguished members of the European Commission and of the European Parliament, illustrious leaders of the connectivity industry, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank ANACOM for organizing this conference on international connectivity and the European Union Atlantic Data Gateway Platform. It is an honor to have the opportunity to share with you our views on such an exciting topic. We live in challenging times. The world is constantly changing, and it does so at a pace that no one could predict a year ago. With the COVID-19 pandemic, suddenly people could not meet in person, could not share the same room, could not shake hands. Someone had the terrible idea of calling this social distancing, and it sticked. But what happened afterwards was not social distancing whatsoever. The correct term is physical distancing. We managed to interact miles away from each other, and social distancing never happened because electronic communications kept us in constant contact. The social, meaning interaction, communication, interdependence, never disappeared. It was simply reshaped, and we are still living through that reshaping ever since the beginning of the pandemic. The point is, with the impact of COVID-19, our reliance, or should I say dependence, on electronic communications and sophisticated machines intensified enormously. In Portugal, data traffic more than doubled during lockdown. E-commerce grew strongly, and we all got used to a new way of working and living, between video conferences with colleagues and family members. Behind all this lies, of course, infrastructure. No matter how virtual or flat this new world seems to be, it still depends to function properly on old-fashioned hardware. Just like we need people in flesh and bone to perform in video conferences, we need real antennas hanging on top of buildings and cables crossing land and oceans to bring us the experience of the virtual world. Now, we are still very much used to think in terms of connectivity at the domestic, national level. However, this assessment is partial and myopic, and because of it, it is dangerous. It is dangerous because infrastructure does not stop at national borders, and because our future digital experience, competitiveness, and sovereignty depend very much on the international connections that link us to the rest of the world. By saying us, I mean us Europeans. Fortunately, many of us are becoming aware that our digital experience, competitiveness, and sovereignty depend on strong European internal and external connectivity. Yes, it is true that Europe has the potential to become a world-class data hub, if it is able to make the best of its legal frameworks and internal infrastructure. But this is not the whole story. To reach its potential to the fullest, Europe needs to be better connected to the rest of the world. For the overall EU digital strategy to be effective, we need to place the appropriate emphasis on international digital connectivity. Portugal fully supports the EU drive towards becoming a global leader in the digital and data domain. As such, it was an honor to see that during Digital Day in March, 26 member states, Norway and Iceland, signed the European Data Gateways Ministerial Declaration. This commitment guarantees international connectivity will be one of the key elements of the European Union's 2030 digital decade. This effort calls on the European Commission to renew its focus on strengthening Europe's international connectivity through submarine cables and other connectivity solutions. In what concerns submarine cables, the European Union must provide a clear message that these investments are not mere national projects, but essential European tools for us to guarantee our sovereignty. And if this is a priority, the funding should follow and be channeled into programs such as Connecting Europe facilities. Ladies and gentlemen, during this conference, we will examine how international connectivity is a geostrategic asset in the data economy, and why Portugal should create better conditions for locating submarine cables and installing data centers, so companies can choose our country to operate, create qualified jobs, and boost science, technology, and digital services. We will also look into Portugal's contribution to the EU Atlantic Data Gateway Platform, with the upcoming inauguration of the Ela-Link submarine cable during the Digital Assembly. And we will assess what is more to come regarding the CAM ring and of how more of these initiatives would be welcome. the flows of personal and industrial data and the volumes of international trade in digital services will only grow exponentially, and competition and scale will, most likely, bring down costs. That is why there is much to be gained from connecting international cables between member states and the EU in general to other parts of the world. This is a condition for the EU to become, as the motto says, the most attractive, safest and dynamic economy in the world. We remain committed to work hard so that the European Union becomes a leader, a norm setter and a global actor in this increasingly digital connected world. Thank you for your attention. I really hope you enjoy the conference.